Today we are going to be doing the Project 3.3 midterm assignment. This is my game that I have made. Don't really have a working title for it, uh, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So, main menu, into a home world, or a hub world, if you will. This world is going to serve as uh, like a home base, kind of, for our player. So they'll have a house that is currently in progress, and then they'll have a shop available here. So we're gonna continue with a gameplay demo. So we're gonna go ahead and go to level 1 and collect their coins. Create our path.
Target acquired.
We have some objects that spawn in and they track to the player's character. I think I can make that jump. Oh, totally can. But if I could not, I would discover this area over here, where there is a jump upgrade. Pick up. And then you come over here to the tower. And you step on the trigger, and it brings you back to the homeworld. And you can see that your jumps persist. I mean, there wasn't any damage or lives taken that level, so can't tell there. But the coins did persist between levels. And we're going to go ahead and buy 2 more jump upgrades here. So now we can jump considerably high. Now we'll get to see some other functionality that I've developed.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired.
As you can see, I've built a shield that allows you to block the moving objects.
Target acquired.
You'll see my health pack pick up there, which might need a little bit of balancing.
Target acquired.
I just gave us another jump. This will allow us to come and get another jump. And then we will actually go ahead and go with the game over screen first.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired. Target.
Go ahead and die one more time. Or 2 more times, actually.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired.
And last time.
Target acquired. Target acquired.
And game over. And then we're going to go ahead and hit play again. And we'll still have our jumps, although our coins have been reset. And our levels have been reset. Because it was game over.
Target
Actually,
acquired.
I should have it set.
Target acquired. Target acquired.
But now you'll be able to pick up this. As you can see, once you get a considerable amount of jumps, the game becomes really easy. Just to really quickly finish up this demo, I'm just gonna run through,
Target
block
acquired.
everything, and then I set this up to try and give a little bit of a challenge to get to the end point. You'll see that on 2 you can kind of make it. But that is the game, and then this will bring us, now that we've completed all the levels, this will bring us to our victory screen. So now we're going to cover the aspects of the assignment. So the 4 principles of object-oriented programming are encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. So actually, even here in the shopkeep, although this code is not implemented, we do have inheritance, because we're trying to add the child to the parent of the UI, but again, that's a work in progress. This is how we updated our jump ability. So our jump ability is being grabbed from our game instance. Well, it's actually not the, yeah, it is. Yeah, the jump ability is inside of the game instance. And what this does is it grabs the number of upgrades, adds 1, and sets the upgrades to +1. And then it runs the upgrade custom event, which will allow us to grab the max jumps and our upgrades from our game instance and add them together, and then set our max jumps equal to the number that comes out of that sum. This also subtracts from your points, subtracts 50 points. We also have our on player death here, which checks your lives for less than equal to 0, lives -1, and if lives, and then it reopens the current level. Or it will open game over. That is what this variable is. And speaking of variables, that is part of our next topic for the assignment. We have actually quite a few here. We have lives, points, level number, which is a custom variable that I have. What that does, or what that is used for, is actually in the tablet. So let's see, is it in here? There we go. This is where it is. BP tablet 02. This is the tablet in the home world. So what that does is it grabs that level number and is using it to set next level using the level number input that we are grabbing from the game instance after enabling input on an overlap with the box. Then we're going to grab next level. It also plays a sound and prints a line, but that won't be printed in the game. And then next level, you'll see here, this is how I have it set up. And now I am understanding that I could set this up in an array and do the same thing. But this was how I had it. I basically drew out an array rather than putting it in an array. But it works. So we're not going to touch it. At least it works for now, and I can go back in and change it and make it easier later. And then we have our jump ability, which is a custom function. And speaking of functions, let's talk about encapsulation. So I feel like my third person character here is probably going to be our best example of encapsulation because we have a lot of things going on here. For example, we have this for each loop that checks all overlapping actors with the shopkeep, that's that NPC on the home world. Then it checks to see if it implements a dialogue interface. And if it does, then it runs the talk, and that is how we get to our shop, or to get our upgrade. We also have our shield. This here is the code for our shield. So we have a play sound on pressed and a set visibility of our shield, which is not even visible. Yeah, not currently visible, but it is our shield. And since encapsulation is about keeping things inside of the object, we also have our player health component. So our player health component is a child of our health component, which is what updates our UI, just or checks to see if it died. Well, this is the actual code to make it die, but check for death and update the UI, heal, and then our player health, being a child of that, has our run parent die, on player death die. So it's setting this character here as our die instance. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens here, which I can actually go ahead and break this link. That doesn't exist. Then I think that covers all 4 principles. Oh, polymorphism and abstraction is what I need to talk about. So here, I'll pull up our example for that. So this is our original object that would track the player and destroy itself. We're checking this macro checks to see if the player is here. This is due to some errors that I was running into after the character would die. I get a bunch of errors that would say like cannot find player on map. So I made this code so that it would check to see if the player is still here, Yeah, if player overlaps the finish class, it will destroy all of these actors that exist. That's only if the player gets to the target before the objects get to them. This is how we get our normalized speed and find our player. So we are going to grab. This is the target or the object's location. This is the coming from the player's location. And this is also the target or the object. So we're going to take the player's eyes viewpoint, and we're going to grab that location. And that I'm using that location specifically because I want the object to point at the eyes, and we're going to subtract it from the location of the object. We're going to send that through our normalize, which that plus this delta seconds input here is going to allow us to run our, or to not to run, but to move per frame rather than per second, because the delta seconds is how long it takes to draw a frame on screen. And so we're going to normalize it so that it looks like it's moving smoothly across the screen one frame at a time. And this init speed is what our initial speed when it spawns is. This was a default speed so that I could move it later. And this is our fine lookout rotation. This is how I am getting the objects to rotate correctly. And that all goes into the event graph, which is where we're, see, here's the normalized speed or normalized direction and player target. These are some logs that troubleshooting logs that I have. This is what's playing the sound and our multiplier volume. And our sound is another variable along with the text here. And that is changing that. Or this is changing the is chasing player. This is what destroys the object. So if it is overlapping or on event actor begin overlap, it's going to see if the player is what is overlapping. If it is the player, it is going to see if the player can be damaged. And if it can be damaged, then it's going to play sound and set damage to 0, and then it's going to set your points to +1 and destroy the actor. However, if it can, or if it is not the player pawn that it is overlapping, it's going to play 2D sound, compile failed, and not, yeah, no, it's going to set your, or no, it is going to set your points to +1. But if the player, or if it is the player overlapping and the player can be damaged, then we're going to set damage to 35, which I can, yeah, that's fine. Then we're going to spawn the blueprint effect of the explosion at the actor location and destroy the actor and take damage. And damage is equal to a variable because actually this damage is getting set here to 35. So I'm setting it in the code. The 50 is just a default value. So that covers our variables and movement / vector math and our time-based values. So now we are going to cover, and we also covered what loads our level. So now we will cover our singletons. So in our singletons file, we have our singleton. So in here we have our lives, our points, our level number, our level name, our lives, and our upgrades. And I think I've covered all of those already. I also already covered input action, spawn and destroy actors, functions and custom events. So let's talk about UI. That is the only thing I don't think I've talked about yet. So these are my UI pages. The shop is the one that I'm currently working on. Here is our health bar. And if we go to our graph for health bar, we have our update health bar, our get lives. So this is what updates our lives text. We have our health bar percent, health bar progress. Yeah, the entire health bar, as you saw in the demonstration, works. I am currently trying to get a shop to pop up here on command. I do want to change the coins color, make that a little bit easier to read, because I noticed during the gameplay that it's a little bit hard to read against the sky. These two are fine because for some reason this side's always dark, but this side was too bright to read. And I do believe that covers everything in the project, from the object-oriented programming principles all the way through custom actions or custom inputs with my shield. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you while I work on my final.